mental health is something that we don't talk about enough. In the black community, well, we're massively overrepresented in the mental health institutions, even more so than in the prisons. And again, these are questions we have to ask. Well, why?
But once you get a control and an understanding of who you are, no one can use you against you. No one can ever use your mental illness against you. You've already spoke about it, so what you got?
The biggest point in life to resolve mental health is like giving a fuck about a person.
Where did you get the courage? I got the courage. The 2 words. I care.
It's Chill Will Radio, where connections will be made, advice will be given, jokes will be told, and things will get real. My name is Willis Cooks, and I'm your host. But understand this show is not meant to be used as a substitute for a relationship with a licensed mental health professional. Enjoy the show, y'all. Yo. What's the deal, man? Welcome everyone tuning in to Chill World Radio, man. Welcome. Thank you to everyone that's tuning in to Chill World Radio, man. This is episode number 37, I believe. I hope it's 37. I don't know if I got it right, 36, 37, but whatever it is, we back at it. Another Sunday, another lovely Sunday here in beautiful Los Angeles, California, man. Thank you for everyone that's tuning in, first and foremost. If you're tuning in right now, good looks to you, man. If you're going to tune in halfway through the show, because you got other things going on, you over here, I don't know what time the BET thing going on right now, but if you're watching that stuff, shit, good looking to you too. You tune in later. If you tune in tomorrow, next week, next year, next lifetime, because you on some other planet, you ain't paying attention to anything I got going on, that's cool too. Good looking to you, but even more so, man, I always say this. Shouts out to all of those individuals who will be tuning in. Never. Shouts out to all y'all who will be tuning in never, man. You always let me know. Someone else I need to go ahead and grab, man. Even though sometimes I feel as if I am hitting the right people, and I am really hitting in the right people, and I thoroughly appreciate all those individuals who are listening and tuning in. But every now and then you got that one person who decides to talk shit but never really heard anything that you listen to. So shouts out to you, man, because you probably ain't caught on yet, but you will catch on eventually. Might not be right now, but at some point in your life, even when you 88 years old and you're on your bed because you got a shit bag and you got cancer or some retarded shit, you'll figure it out back then why mental health is important. It ain't gotta be my raggedy show, but it could be somebody else's show. But as long as you tuned into your mental health in some type of way, it don't have to be through therapy, dog. It could be through any other type of way. I mean, it doesn't have to be through talk therapy. It doesn't have to be through the typical psychoanalytic type of therapy. It can be any type of way. Everything is therapeutic. Whatever you have to do to bring you peace to your day, that's therapeutic. So you ain't gotta listen to my show, but you gotta listen to something when it comes to your mental health, man. Get your shit right. So shouts out to you, big dog, that you ain't never gonna listen in because you too good to think that everything is straight and fine with your mental health, man. So how's me? How's my week? How are things going on, man? Everything is good, man. The one thing I thoroughly love about all of my gigs, they make me so appreciative. Man. For those who don't know, I'm a therapist, a full-time therapist. I work in a bunch of different areas of therapy. I do individual therapy. I work in a psychiatric hospital with the psychos. I don't like calling them psychos, but those type of folks. I work in a regular medical hospital, man. And the one thing about working in a medical hospital, man, it forces me to understand the importance of taking care of yourself physically. The importance of taking care of yourself physically, man. I'm big on working out, but the thing is, I don't go to the doctor. And as black men, we need to go to the doctor. And a lot of my coworkers, my supervisors in particular today, a lot of them have been having conversations with me around getting my prostate checked. I always say, I ain't trying to do that because I'm not gonna have nobody poke, something up my ass. Like, I don't even like people touching up my ass. Like, I done stopped having sex before with girls because they done touched my ass. Like, it's not happening. But I had a conversation with this young lady today, and she was telling me the importance of, she was telling me how her husband just died because he never got her stuff checked out. And then I was having another conversation with this girl. She's 19 years old. Kidneys failed. She just has heart surgery the other day. Her mom is originally from Mexico. I had to type her up this long letter just to try to get her mom over here so her mom can give her a kidney. But she's 19, right? So it makes me a little bit more aware of the importance of being physically healthy. Have I gone to a doctor and get checked out? No. Have I gone to a doctor to get my prostate checked yet? No. But that is something that is always there. That is something that I'm constantly being reminded of. Like, Willis, get your shit right. So it's the same with you, man. Even though this is a mental health show, man, it's important to understand that you got to take care of your physical well-being as well. You got to make sure you eat right. You got to make sure you exercise right. You got to make sure you get your weekly, monthly, or daily checkups, however you got to do. Make sure you take care of yourself holistically, right? Because mental health is fine, but your physical health is something that's also important. And we're just now looking at mental health as something important, right? We just are now looking at that. There are some coaches in this world who still believe mental health doesn't exist, who still believe mental health is just something that you could just get over it, and it's just for rich white people who just be bullshitting because they broke all of a sudden. When, like, no, anything that's wrong with you physically is going to affect yourself mentally. How you are affected mentally is going to affect yourself physically. And it's also going to affect how you are spiritually. Your spiritual well-being, your physical well-being, and your mental well-being. It's all whole. It's all one. We have to look at it from a holistic perspective. Because if mentally you shit, physically you're shit. If physically you're shit, mentally you're going to be shit. And it all depends on what you're putting into your body. If you're putting in bullshit food, you're going to feel bullshit. Then you're mentally going to behave bullshit. You're going to get a little bit more depressed. There are foods that can heighten your depression, right? There are foods that can make you more lackadaisical. We have to be more mindful of that. If you're around bullshit people, you're finna have bullshit thoughts, right? We got to be mindful and detox and cut everything out, because we got to understand taking things in is more than just what you eat. We take in what we see, we take in what we hear, we take in what we taste, we take in what we touch, we take in everything that comes in contact with our body, with ourselves, with our well-being. We can take it in, we're going to soak it in, and depending upon our perspectives on it, depending upon how we look at it, hey, it can fuck us up or it can make us better. Depending upon that, it's all on you. It's all on you. But moving on forth into the self-care piece, right? As always, I always like to make sure I give everyone a free down-to-earth self-care tip I want everyone to take in. So the one thing I want everyone to implement within their self-care regimen, it's something simple, but it's also something hard, right? But it's something simple because we can work on it today. You can start it at this very moment, but it's something hard because we never do it, right? Stop doing the things that you know are wrong that you could stop doing, right? Stop doing the things that you know are wrong that you could stop doing. Stop doing the things that you know are wrong that you could stop doing. For example, you know littering is wrong. You could stop littering. Stop doing that shit. You keep telling yourself that you need to make up your bed every morning, and every time you don't make up your bed, you feel bad. Make up your bed every morning, right? You I don't know, whatever, right? You don't clean out, you half-ass clean your room, and you know that's wrong. Fully clean up your room. Stop doing the things that you know are wrong that you actually can stop doing, right? It doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. The reason why that's so important is because, one, you have to start small. Have to start small so you can build up that momentum in order to knock things out of your life, right? We got to understand a mile is done by taking one step at a time. You're going to complete 1 mile by taking one step at a time. You're not just going to jump from 1 mile to 2 miles, 3 miles, and then boom, you're done. Like, no. One step at a time. So that means those little small things that you know are wrong that you need to stop doing in your life. Stop that. That you know you could stop doing. Because there are some things that we do that are wrong, but we may be so deep into it that we just can't immediately stop it. We have to take our time and gradually and figure out how to stop it, right? You might be too deep into it, and you might be scared to even try to figure out how to stop it, so you're just going to continue to be doing wrong stuff because it's what you used to, right? But we have to get out of that mindset, especially if we know that what we're doing is wrong. So start somewhere else. Figure out what you can do, because we have to build up that momentum to knock out these big things. We have to build up that momentum to knock out these big things, because there may be, like I said, there's something in your life that you're doing wrong that you're not ready to fight that battle yet. You're not ready to fight that. I don't know. You might be cheating on your girl right now. You know that's wrong, but it might be a little bit harder for you to go talk to her. You ain't ready for her to smack you in your face yet. So build up the momentum. Build up the courage. Build up whatever you have to do. So when it is time for you to fight that one big boss dude at the end of that level, you're going to be straight. You're going to have all those things behind you saying like, I completed this, I completed that, I completed that, I completed that. Because at the end of the day, it's all about cleaning up your life. It's all about cleaning up your closet. It's all about, cleaning up your room, right? Cleaning up those things that you know you are supposed to clean up, but you just don't get around to it because you're like, it's not that big. It's not that big. But we always, even myself, right? We never really take into account that no big problem happens just like that. It's always something small that just on top of each other, right? A lot of my depressed patients, damn near all of my depressed patients, they're not depressed because of one specific thing that happens in their life. I don't believe anybody's really depressed because of one specific thing that happens in their life. Like, nah, it's a culmination of everything, right? And then when they look in the mirror, they be like, yo, my life is shit. Let me try to fix it. They got to look at this big-ass mountain of problems that they got to deal with. They look at that big old mountain of problems they got to deal with, then they like, no, not fucking with that. So then they just let that continue to build, and then the depression begins to seep in, and it begins to be their well-being, and it begins to become who they are. You can knock off that big mountain, but you got to take care of one thing at a time. And whatever you could take care of that. Whatever you are able to control that. If you're not able to control it, that doesn't mean you're not going to ever be able to control it. But that means you're just not able to control it at this moment. You might not be ready to fight that fight right now. I'm not ready to fight Mike Tyson right now. But give me some years of training, I'll probably knock his ass out. That's probably a lie too. But you get my point, right? You got to build yourself up. You got to train. You got to build up that momentum, right? So the self-care regimen, the self-care piece that I want everyone to implement within their self-care regimen is really, really simple. Stop doing the things that are wrong. Stop doing the things that you know are wrong that you actually could stop doing. Stop doing the things that you know are wrong that you could stop doing. So you can create that momentum, so you can knock little things out, so you can figure out how to continue on and move on with your life. Because you're stuck, because you're worried about what's going on yesterday and what could possibly be going on in the future and all of this other reckless shit. You got to start somewhere. Start by not littering. Start by taking out that trash when it's full. Start by making up your bed. Whatever you feel is wrong at that moment, start right there. All right? So, moving on forward, man, into the main topic, man. I got my guy. What's the deal? What's the deal?
Yo.
How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, man.
Man, I got my guy Will here, man. Chill Will with Will.
Yeah. Chill Will. They used to call me they call my dad Chill Will. So I was like, oh, that's only right.
Man, they've been calling me that my whole life, dog. It's crazy. I know a few Willises, and their last name was Willis. They all like chill. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You might have a little thing or whatever it is. But my guy, good looking, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man.
How things going in your life?
I'm over here soaking up what you saying. I'm like,
I'm trying.
Let me just get a session in real quick.
I'm trying.
While I can, a little free session in real quick.
I'm trying.
Good. Yeah.
What's going good in your life, man?
Man.
What's some of the things you're appreciative of right now?
I'm appreciative that, but I'm here right now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful. That's actually a good question, because the other day I was sitting there, I was like complaining about stuff that really has no value.
Yeah.
Stuff that was just in the moment, like,
yeah.
Dang, why is this like this? And I started looking around, I'm like, man, it could be way worse.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I'm appreciative, man. I'm just happy, got breath in my lungs.
And you right, it could be way worse. I think last week or the week before I was talking about one of the self-care pieces I said was, the second something goes wrong, ask yourself, how worse could it be?
That's right.
And actually answer it. We ask ourselves and we tell ourselves it could be way worse, but tell yourself exactly how it could be way worse. Because we know where it could go, but we don't really acknowledge that. So
that's for real.
Man, be appreciative of it all, man.
Yeah.
Shit. You doing good. Everything in your life is fine. Everything is good.
Can't complain, man.
How's LA treating you so far, man? Because you're not from here.
Man, listen, LA is treating me well. Except for the traffic. Everything but the traffic, I will say, is going pretty damn
That's the
well.
only thing you got to complain about when it comes to LA?
That's and the rent prices. I mean, if we really want to dig deep into it, but outside of that, man, this feels like home. I don't know why.
How long you been out here?
5 years.
5 good old
4 to
years.
5, yeah.
5 years.
Yes, sir.
What was the roughest year? Was it the first year that was the roughest, or did it start off cool and it kind of go bad?
You know what, man? It's kind of been a roller coaster. I would say the first year for sure was probably one of the toughest. I came here with 3 months of rent. You know what I'm saying? I had
90-day supply.
90-day supply. I had no job set up. You know what I'm saying? I was like, if it works out, it works out. If not, the worst that can happen, I'll move back to the crib. So that first 90 days, man, was tough. It was hard. But of course, man, was able to get over that hump. And then maybe the next year after that, once I started feeling like, oh, everything good, fired from a job. Right back to step one. I'm like, well, if it don't go good, move right back to the crib. But yeah, man, it's been a roller coaster, but I can say, you know, it's all worth it. It's all kind of led up to this point.
It's all learning experiences, man.
That's right.
And sometimes you just got to jump right in.
That's real.
Like a lot of the times we want to do a lot of things, but we get too caught up within the planning stage of it that we actually don't act. A lot of people say, well, I'm planning out my life right now. I'm writing these goals down. Writing goals down is cool. They ain't shit if you're taking no action towards it.
No, sir.
You know, so going forth and just jumping into the water in LA is a different type of animal.
It is. It is. It's a yeah. That's what it is right there.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's a whole different type of animal, man. And I always like to say this, man, throughout the years, I spent some time in Atlanta going to school, and Atlanta is a different type of animal within itself.
Word.
The thing about Atlanta is it's just like, if you can make it in LA, if you can make it in New York, you can make it damn near anywhere.
Word.
I always tell people, but if you can make it in Atlanta, that doesn't necessarily mean you can make it in LA.
That's
if
real.
you can make it in your hometown, that doesn't mean you can necessarily make it in LA.
100.
LA is it's if you're not from out here and you come out here, you have to be a certain type of person
Yeah.
to survive.
Yeah.
Cause I know a lot of people, I'm sure you do too, know a few people who
sure.
came out here just got ate up.
For sure. I mean, shout out to my mans that came out here with me, but he was one that left. You know what I'm saying? He's doing well right now. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it was best for him to leave. But
and that's the thing. Like, LA ain't for everybody.
It's not.
Like, we live in a world to where, like, we put LA on this pedestal or New York on this pedestal when it's like, no, you don't have to come out here to make it. You don't have to. You don't have to be recognized in LA in order to be dope in whatever area you in.
No.
Take over your city.
That's real.
Take over your small town.
Real.
Because if you really that big, dog, the people in LA gonna come to you. You don't need to go to them.
Man, say that for the people that didn't hear it in the back.
So
real talk.
Because he may not, just because you ain't worked out here, that does not mean that it's all a failure.
Straight up. I mean, internet, man. Internet, I mean, you can be anywhere in the world at this point. I know people who in little city in Utah that's popping right now and probably out here for the awards right now and going right back to Utah after the awards is over.
Yep.
Stuff like that. You
people
know
that ain't never left their bedroom.
Right.
Doing their shit.
That's real.
Doing their shit. So
Big
it's all
facts.
about doing what works for you.
Yes.
Right? Because LA ain't for everybody. It ain't. But just because it ain't for you, that doesn't mean that you ain't shit.
Exactly.
It just mean, hey, go back home, reevaluate, shuffle the cards a little bit, and get back to it. That's all it is. That's all it is. So, what we talking about today, man? The biggest thing we're talking about today is life's tools versus life's obstacles.
Word.
Life's tools versus life's obstacles. Right? The perception and how we view certain things in life.
Word.
The thing is a lot of times in group therapy and things like that, I always have to let people know that life is going to be hard at times. Life is going to be hard. You're going to have shit that comes to you. But a lot of my patients, a lot of people in therapy, a lot of people who are doing bad in life, everything that comes to them, it's just full of obstacles.
Real.
It's hard to tell somebody who's pessimistic, yo, think positive, or look at that car accident as a blessing, or look at this problem as, the tools and things like that, and trying to figure out how to switch, or trying to figure out how to pick out But try to see, is life full of obstacles, is life full of tools? Trying to figure out that whole thing is a difficult thing for a lot of my patients, and not even just patients, but just in life in general, and people in general, right? Trying to figure out the between the two is a difficult thing. So when it comes to you, my man, Will, when it comes to a lot of the situations, on a scale of 1 to 10, obviously at this point in your life, you're going to say life is a bunch of full of tools because your perception on it is kind of switched up.
Absolutely.
But growing up, right? What was your mindset? Was it fuck everything, or was it on some like, all right, I'm gonna try?
Word. You know what, man? I think it was kind of a mixture of the two. I grew up moving very often. I went to about 11 schools. 11? And it's only 12 that you can go to from elementary to high school.
I ain't even have 11 girlfriends.
Listen. So for that, it always kind of felt like I'll get to a place at a new school or a new environment where I feel comfortable, where I feel like, man, life is really good.
Yeah.
And then I get news that we about to move again.
Yeah.
And it happened year after year to the point where when that feeling started coming, I kind of was like, nah, I can't even feel like everything is cool because I know it's about to happen.
You know, you're trying to prepare yourself for the inevitable, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then I had to get to a place once I got to high school where I was just like, you know what? This is kind of just building my story. You know what I'm saying? I got to look at it from a sense of this is unique. You know what I'm saying? Not too many people can say they went to 11 different schools, lived in 3 different cities.
Was it something that what was the thing that triggered it, though?
Triggered what exactly?
Their perspective change.
I think because it was kind of to the point where I felt like I couldn't change the outcome.
Okay.
Like I couldn't change that it was going to happen, that I was going to move, right? Like it wasn't like, nah, Ma, I'm not moving this time. Forget this. I'm staying
here. I like this school.
Right. I'm in the backyard with it.
I got
like,
bitches here, Mama. I don't want it.
Listen. But it was that where I was like, you know, I can't change it if I wanted to. So I can either continue to moan, continue to be all upset, all depressed about it, or I can look at it like, this is actually pretty cool. And now that I'm an adult, I look back and I'm like, people like, man, you can get along with just about anybody. And I look back and I'm like, it's because I've experienced just about every personality.
Do you think that's that perspective, right? That whole aspect of looking at your situations in a positive way, or being able to, you know, take the positive out of it. Going into the nature versus nurture thing, do you think that's an innate thing, something that we're born with, a quality that we're born with, or is it something that we develop through the environment that we're in?
I think it honestly may have been. It's hard to say because, like, on one side you could say we all born with it, we just don't know it.
Okay.
And then on the other side, it's like you just kind of have to go through life to actually pull it out, for it to be developed, if that makes sense.
So like kind of combination between the two?
Kinda. Yeah. Like more so like you don't know it's in you until you have to pull it out of you, in a sense.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of things. You don't know what is in you until it gets to you, and it's always those challenges,
right?
Those things in life that forces you to bring out certain things that you didn't know were there.
Exactly.
But I mean, for me to answer that question, I'm going to say it's a nature thing, not really nurture.
Word.
I don't think it's really innate, only because, and I always tell people this, I believe we're born blank slates, right? I don't believe we're born straight. I don't believe we're born gay. I don't believe we're born smart. I don't believe we're born dumb.
Word.
I just believe we're born, and the things that happen to us or the things that we're around is going to develop certain things. I think there's a moment in everyone's life though to where they have to make that decision.
Yeah. Am
I going to keep it moving? Am I going to keep my head up and just go and take everything for what it is?
Right.
Or am I going to drown in my shit?
Real.
The environment is going to test us all the time, but that choice that you're going to have to make, I don't know where that choice comes from.
Right.
I don't know if it's like something that your parents put in you, or if you just like, fuck it, let me figure it out.
I think that's what it is. That mentality right
I'm gonna just
there.
figure it out.
Yeah, man, because, like, I was talking to my girl the other day about it, and, like, we kind of looked back at where I came from.
Yeah.
Like, this whole tech thing, how I'm even into that. Like, where I'm from, that ain't
No.
talked about. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, not
nobody
at all.
talks about being smart.
You're not cool.
You know? You're not cool, exactly. So, like, I had to think about it. I'm like, she was like, why do you do what you do? Like, how did you learn this stuff? And I started thinking about it. I'm like, my parents didn't teach me this. I mean, my parents taught me basic life necessities.
Yeah.
You know, I give all the credit to my mom for the faith.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when it come to, like, everything else that kind of makes me who I am,
Yeah.
I think it was just a moment of being like, bro, I can either drown or I can really swim.
Yeah.
Or I can get up. Because,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think, like, 22 years old, I'm like, yo, I'm not a kid no more. I, like, moving to L.A. was really like, bro, you have bills that either you're going to pay for them or you getting evicted, bro. And you going to have to figure out how you getting back home.
Right.
So it was that, bro. And I've always lived on that since then. Where it's
Yeah.
just like, bro, let me just figure this out.
Yeah, it's because life gonna get real.
Yeah.
Real quick. Life
Real.
is gonna get real quick.
Listen.
And life has to get real in order for us to really stand up. Life has to get real in order for us to get through whatever situation we need to get through. So when it comes to those problems and when it comes to those challenges that are in our life, are they really obstacles?
Real.
Not really, right? Not really. It's just a matter of how we look at it. And then I had a conversation. This is a cool little thing. Like, so like at the psych hospital I work at, it's 6 or 7 different units, 6 units, right? And are all they're based upon age and they're based upon the severity of the actual client. So you got, when it comes to the kids, you got kids who are like 7 to 12. They're in one unit, and then you got kids from 13 to 17. They're a unit.
Wow.
But then the other 4 adult units, they're based upon the severity. And so I was on the worst unit. I was running a group session on the worst unit, right? This is the unit to where people are like, I don't know, like it was just this one girl who thought she was Princess Diana and she didn't mess with black people. And she was really, really like against black folks, and she thought she was Princess Diana, and she was all white power this, white power that, but she was darker than me.
Interesting.
And
Interesting.
So it's patients like that. But I mean, they're running the group session. The dude tells me, and this kind of reminds me all the time, they're just people. They're not individuals who are retarded or dumb. Like, no, they're just people that have things going on. The dude was telling me, we were talking about, I don't know what we were talking about, but he was telling me about how everything in life is neutral. Nothing is right, nothing is wrong. Everything in life is neutral. You don't have control over what you don't have control over what happens to you, but you have control over how you respond. Your response is what makes things negative or positive. Your response is what makes things right or wrong. And he said that out of the blue, but it was one of the most deepest things that I've heard a patient on that unit say in a long time, because it's true. Right? Everything in life that we go through is neutral.
Yeah.
Is neutral. Everything that happens to you is neutral. But your perspective on it, the moment that second after what happens, that reaction, that response, that's what determines whether it's positive or negative. But a lot of the times we immediately go to the negative side. We immediately go to like, oh, this shit is bad and this shit is whack and blah 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 blah.
Word.
And it's always interesting to me to figure out why people go right to that negative. Why do you think people go right back to that negative when certain things happen?
I think there's some comfort that lives there.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because some people don't know where to go. Like, if you don't have that, and you kind of touched on it, like that mental health, like just having an avenue to know where you can go. Some people don't know where to go. So I feel like, and this is just talking from experience. I can think back to a time where I got let go from a job where I know I was doing everything right.
Yeah.
And I got let go for something that didn't make sense. Like, the reason for it made no sense. But I knew in that moment when I got let go that I needed the job, all this different stuff. But immediately I got mad. I was like, man, dang, man, like, man, I must really not be that good. All these different things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just to later find out that it was never me. It was a mistake that happened, all this different stuff. But for me, it was a moment of just going to what felt comfortable in that moment because I didn't know it was that, you know what I'm saying, that unfamiliarity, like what's going to happen next, that mystery.
Yeah.
So I think if that answers your question, I think it's just some comfort in that.
It is a lot of comfort in the shit we go through.
Right.
Because it's hard to fight through the negative stuff. It's hard to really want to get up and really, drag through the mud to try to get out of it.
Yeah.
And sitting in negativity, it's an easy thing, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting in negativity is a very easy thing because you don't have to do much. It's a very comfortable thing, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I may not like my life right now, but I got Netflix, I got this couch, I got some food.
2K.
I got 2K. Let me just chill.
Right.
And we don't understand the choices that we're making now, they're going to affect everything in the future. The choices that we're making now, all of the problems are just going to be compounded into some ridiculous thing later on. So it is comfortable.
Right.
And fighting through your stuff is like very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I always have to tell people, you have to learn how to get comfortable within your discomfort.
Yes.
You have to learn how to
Absolutely.
get comfortable within your discomfort because that discomfort is what's going to push you through.
Listen.
So I know for me, it took a while for me to really kind of get out of that negative mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it was all about, I got to a point to where, and it's kind of similar to your point, I got to a point to where it's kind of like, well, I've done a bunch of negative shit. Let me see what could happen if I tried to go another route.
Yeah.
And I think that's the case for a lot of us, right? We
Yes.
do all of these negative things, but we should give ourselves the credit in order to figure out what we need to do in order to go a different route.
Absolutely. I just want to add on to
Go
that
ahead.
because what helped me was it was a moment where I felt super happy. I don't remember what it was, but I was super excited. Like, everything was going right with life, whatnot. And I remember Pastor saying that anytime he gets happy or he feels good, he questions, like, what is it that is making me feel like this? Because a lot of times it's random. Sometimes it's based on something else that happened, whatever the case may be. But in that moment, I said, let me remind myself what I'm excited about right now so that when I'm at that moment where I'm depressed or whatever it is, I can look to that thing and know that, okay, bro, you got to come back.
Yeah.
You got to get back on it.
Yeah.
And for me, it's my daughter. It's for me to look at her and be like, I got to do it for her if it ain't for nobody else.
What was the one thing that changed you? Like, it's your daughter there, and you know you got to do it for her.
Yeah.
But what's the one thing that you looked in what's the one thing that your daughter turned you into outside of Better Man, outside of a father? What's the one thing you feel as if your daughter turned you into when it comes to your perspective on life?
She turned me into a believer.
A believer?
A believer that I can actually make it through it.
Okay.
Because without her, I don't know if I would have maybe moved back to the crib. You know, like,
you got support
her.
back at home. It's easy back at home. You got everything back at home. Why not?
Right. But then also kind of being afraid of, like, if I was to go that route, like, I would feel like a failure. Like, I came all the way out here. I've done all this stuff. Now I'm about to move back home with people that's in the same spot that they was in 4 years ago when I first left. It's just that moment. So, like, it's a couple things that kind of play into that, but now I can say it's definitely her, bro.
It's definitely her. The one thing I always tell a lot of parents, and I was having this crazy, you said this, because I was having a conversation with my homeboy about this yesterday. I don't have any children, but the one thing I know for a fact what kids do is, what children do is for their parents, they make them accountable. They make them accountable, right? Because now you got to be accountable of everything that you do.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be no liar. It's cool to be a liar to your homeboys over there, but you don't want to be no liar to your little one. You don't want your little girl, your little boy, your little man to look at you like, man, dad, you full of shit.
Real. I was just watching When They See Us,
Yeah.
the documentary
Yeah.
joint, and when Oprah interviewed one of the guys.
I haven't seen that part yet.
Oh, you gotta watch it, bro. It's
Yeah.
actually super deep. Dude was like, and it's just touching on what you
Yeah.
said. He said, she said, "Do you forgive your father for him telling you to lie about so and so?" He said, "Nah, I still hate him to this day."
Damn.
And I said, "Man, dude is like maybe in his 40s, whatever the case.
His father gone.
Father probably gone.
No, father is gone.
Father gone, right?
Yeah.
But he holding on to this, and I'm like, dang, bro. Like, I could really, if I was that type of dude who said, man, forget my daughter, like, I don't care, I'm a father. I could really put that in her to when she's 40 years old. Now she's looking back like, I hate that dude.
Yeah.
And I'm the cause of everything else that she hates too.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of, I don't even know how I got on that. My bad, bro.
No, you good. No, you telling the truth. You telling the truth. Cause it's about it's all about how we're looking at the situation.
Yes, that's it.
And Didier, my man right here in the backstage, just like 2 weeks ago, when we were speaking about fatherhood, he said something to the extent of like, you know, your father was doing the best he could with what he knew at that moment, right? Your father was doing the best he could with what he knew at that moment. So touching on, you know, that When They See Us piece and how old boy was like, man, I ain't never gonna forget my father. At that moment, that's the best he could do, and that's what he understood. Because as I was watching that scene within a docuseries, I understood why he told his kid that. I understood why, because it's like, yo, as an adult, I'm trying to do the best I can do to protect my kid. He's trying to protect his kid, even if it's wrong. The intent is positive.
Yeah.
Trying to protect his kid. That's all he knew. So it's all about how long and why are we still holding the grudges.
Sure.
But how are you looking at this situation?
Yes.
How can you change the things that, you know, and how you're going to look at it?
Yes.
So, because it's you don't want to be that individual that someone is looking at you negatively in, but at the same time, you can't fault them and you can't control their perspective. The only thing you can do is be as honest and as open to them as much as possible. Let them know, like, hey, I didn't know what I was doing at that moment, but it was the best that I could do.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
even with you as a father, and even how your little girl is making you accountable, you're going to make mistakes. I don't even have no kids yet, but I know for a fact I'm going to make mistakes.
Word.
Right? But it's
Word.
all about being open and honest to that little one. The
Yeah.
same thing with life in general. When you know you fuck up, it's okay to tell yourself you fucked up.
Yeah.
It's okay to tell yourself you fucked up and you went the extra route. The thing is, it's all about figuring out how to change that perspective.
That's real.
When it comes to figuring out how to change that perspective, at what point in your life, if you would, say for example, your little girl is growing up, she's very pessimistic.
Yes.
What are some of the things, if you had to narrow down to 5 things, right, that you would have to teach or tell your little girl in order for her to change her perspective from a pessimistic view to an optimistic view, from a life is full of obstacle shit to a life is full of tools situation? What are the 5 things that you would have to narrow down and that you would give to your little girl to help her change her perspective?
That's deep, bro. You should have let me prep for that one.
They just covered.
I like that. I think it has to start with faith, right?
Faith
For
in
me,
what?
Faith in God.
Okay.
It got to go back to something that's unmovable, that's unchangeable.
Yeah.
And for me, that's my faith in God. You know, I'm very honest about that. So I want to make sure, number one, and my mom say this all the time, if I ain't gave you nothing else in life, I know for sure I gave you your faith in God.
Yeah.
She say something to that degree. But
I gave you that though.
yeah,
son.
I gave you something. I'm like, dang, let me get $1 though. Let me pay this rent in LA because it's expensive. But so faith. Number 2. Shoot.
You said faith,
Yes.
and I agree with you on faith.
Yes,
I would
sir.
say the importance, understand the importance of remaining accountable for your actions.
Yes.
Because a lot of us, when we make negative choices or when we make negative decisions, we always trying to run away from those negative decisions.
Very true.
So to go along with your number 1 in that faith, I would say understanding the importance of remaining accountable for your actions.
I like that.
You know,
a
that's
lot.
thoroughly important.
Absolutely.
Damn, that shit is kind of hard. I don't
You
even
see
know.
what I'm saying? I'm like, shoot, because I can only think about,
Faith is number one. Importance of remaining accountable over your actions. Number 3, I would say being open.
yes, and that's kind of to the degree that I was just thinking too. Being open.
Being open to everything.
Yeah, because I mean, having that mind frame of being open, you know that yes, I'm in this situation now, but it's very possible that it can change.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, if I think back to the place where I come from and the neighborhood that I grew up in,
Yeah.
it's a lot of people that's not open because the OGs, the big dogs, they don't teach that. They don't
Yeah.
tell you to be open.
No, because they don't even know how to be open them damn self.
Exactly. And it's
Yeah.
it's a cycle. It's
Yeah.
a cycle of people that's continuing to give this
For real.
misguided information.
For real.
So it's and that's kind of the responsibility that I feel like I have right now, is to make sure that things like that, being open, having faith, all these different things,
Yeah.
that she understands this, because if she don't get it now, she's gonna teach that to her kids.
For real.
And then her kids gonna teach that to her
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
So
It's going to continue.
it's gonna continue.
It got to break at some point,
has
and
to.
it's about being open to everything, being open to the positive stuff and being open to all of the negative stuff as well.
Right.
Because we try to shut. It's like what you said earlier. We get comfortable within our negativity, so we kind of shut out everything that's positive.
Yes.
It's like kind of exactly what you were speaking about when it comes to you switching schools 11 times, and you thinking, okay, I'm good here, but then you get smacked in the head. It's like, oh, nope, you ain't good here.
Right.
It's about understanding that you have to be really, it's about understanding that even though you're a negative shit, you never want to get comfortable within your negative situation, because what you're going to do is you're going to be dismissive towards all the positive things that's going to happen.
Exactly.
You're going to be like, I'm not worth anything positive because this is going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
You could have been like, ain't no need for me to get comfortable at the school because I'm going to move regardless.
Yeah, real, bro. And it's kind of scary to think that it's
Yeah.
people out here who really
Oh,
think
dog.
that, bro. I used to work at this call center where it was folks, bro, that would be like 50 in their 50s, 60s,
Yeah.
taking calls next to me. I'm 18, 19, taking calls next to me, making the same money. I'm like, and I asked this lady once. I said, yo. I said, how long you been working here? She's like 15, 20 years. I'm like, dang. I said, and I asked her, I said, what do you got a passion for? Like, what do you like to do outside of work? Cook. Okay. I'm like, all right, cool. But I said, but is there anything that you would do if you can get paid for it? What would it be? She was
Yeah.
like, I don't know what it would be. She said, but honestly, I'm cool here. And I said, why is that? She said, because I don't really quite see anything outside of this.
Yeah.
And I said, that right there was the moment for me
Yeah.
that was like, bro, I cannot be like this.
Yeah.
I gotta break
Yeah.
this. Because you get into a place around like-minded individuals
Yeah.
that's all like,
For real.
this is the only thing. Like, we in this closed door right now, bro. If we all stayed in here and the only information that we had was the information that we told each other, bro, we walk out that door, the first person that walk out that door get told something else and bring it back into this door.
It's going to fuck up the whole thing.
Exactly. And who's to say that the people that's in this room is going to
Mm-hmm.
really believe it? Because we only know one thing. You feel me? So it's, bro, if I say maybe being open is the number one thing, bruh. That's why small cities exist in the U.S.
Oh, my God.
because
Yeah.
it's a town, it's a community of people that stay small.
Yeah.
You move to L.A. and you like, God dang, that's a palm tree.
Yo, that's the realest shit, because it's like, especially when you was like that person who went out, came back in, whatever that person had heard, that probably was the truth. They gonna
Right.
come back in, we're gonna understand that might be the truth. Like, and we're gonna be like, nah, that shit
Right.
is false.
Exactly, bro.
Crazy. And the crazy thing about that is just understanding that your truth or your perspective can change.
Right.
So that exactly what you said, the importance of being open, especially when it comes to like understanding that your truth and your perspective can change.
Yes.
Anything that comes into your way has the ability to change in it. But the thing is, you just don't want to get comfortable.
That's it.
You don't want to get sick. So we got number one,
Yes,
faith.
sir.
Faith above everything else.
We going back to the
For
numbers.
real. We try to get to all 5 'cause that shit's tough. 1 is faith. 2 is the importance of being accountable
Yes,
for your
yes,
actions
yes,
and
yes.
choices. The importance of being accountable for your actions and choices. 2, being open. 3 being open. 4, I'm going to say be realistic.
Ooh.
Be realistic, because sometimes we have these lofty and these really big goals, and sometimes we tend to think that nothing negative could happen to us or nothing positive could happen to us. Be realistic that something in your life is going to come by and fuck you up,
Right.
but take it on the chin.
Yes.
You know, be realistic that, this positive thing that you have going on in your life could possibly fail.
Yes.
So when it does fail, it don't take you off guard. Be
Yeah.
realistic that the dirt that you in, you have the ability to clean it up.
Yeah.
That's why I would say be realistic for number 4.
I like that.
So
like
we got
that.
faith is 1, accountable is 2, being open is 3, being realistic is number 4.
It's
Last,
okay to dream for number 5.
it's okay to dream. Be realistic about your situation is 4, but at the same time, it's okay to dream.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay to dream, because it's like that lady that you was talking about. She didn't have no dream. She didn't really think she can look past what she's seen in front of her.
Yeah.
So everything that it only was right there. She put a box. She mentally put herself into a box. So anything that came after that, it was closed off because she didn't have that dream. So I'm gonna line that up. You good with that, Didier? You good with that? I'm good with those 5s, man. But
Word.
man, shit. Moving on to the question, right? The question that I don't write before the show or after the show or whenever. It's really the question that I come up sometime in my head midway through the show, man. And the question I have for you, and I'm going to answer this for you as well.
Word.
When it comes to life's tools, and when it comes to my bad. When it comes to, because remember how I was speaking about how a patient of mine told me that nothing in life is positive or negative, everything is neutral?
Sure.
When it comes to that, right? When it comes to everything in your life being neutral, and when it comes to your response after that, whether it's positive or negative, at what moment within that thought, if you have a tendency of being negative, at what point within that thought could you do in order to kind of switch your thoughts from negative to positive, if you get my question?
So
if something negative happened to you,
yes,
right? What could you do within that moment for yourself to switch that negative thought to a positive thought?
That's good.
So for me, it's exactly what it's exactly what I always have to do, right? I say this probably down there every show, right? When something negative happens to me and when I get down, the first thing I have to do in order to switch that thought from negative to positive is tell myself I ain't no bitch. I have to always tell myself I ain't no bitch. If I don't tell myself I ain't no bitch, man, I'm going to get stuck within that negative thing. So whatever came to me, I'm just going to think and continue to think that it's negative. Right? So for me, when that neutral thing does hit us and I come with a negative thought, tell myself I ain't no bitch. So that way, that's the little switch I have in my head to switch that from negative to positive.
That's fire.
What about you?
Fire. First thing that came to my mind, like immediately, was think back to the last giant you slayed.
Yeah.
I can think of
I like that.
everything that I've been through in life. I think the thing that got me through it to make me progress, or more so continue to progress, was to think back to the last success I had. So an example of that was the last job that I got fired from, let go from. We gonna say let go. We gonna say that I let go of that.
I walked away.
That's how we gonna say that. But when I can think back to that, I remember in that moment I thought, because bro, that was a good paying job, and I remember thinking like, I don't know if I can redo this.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I can, because it took a while to build this up.
Yeah.
But then I had to think back to the very moment that got me in that door.
For real.
And I said, if I can do that there, I can do that again.
Yeah.
And it took some time. It took maybe a, you know, what I would like to say a step back, because it really wasn't a step back, but more so just like a pull back. If we're looking at like a sling.
Yeah.
I was more so pulling myself back, or God was pulling me back, if we say, to launch me forward again.
So let me ask you a question, cause another question that literally just
Let's
popped
get
up in
it.
my head.
Let's get
what
it.
What would you say was your biggest thus far in your life? What would you say was your biggest blessing in disguise?
Biggest blessing in disguise.
We are, when negative shit happens to us at that moment, it's 1,000% negative.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, we realize like, yo, I really wasn't supposed to be with that shit.
Bro.
You know? So what would you say at this point in your life is your biggest blessing in disguise?
Wow. So many, bro. But if I had to think of a moment that kind of changed things, was being in the city I was in at the moment, losing a relationship with a girl that I thought was the one, to if I'm being, you know, real, to someone that I thought was my homie.
Yeah.
To not going to college because I was waiting on this person that I thought was the one.
Yeah.
All this different stuff that kind of put in this big ball where I was like, man, if I would have, I would have been here. But when I think about that moment, it actually set me up to sitting here with you.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't go through that, I would have stayed in that circle, in that box, and never would have experienced. And to be honest, I mean, I get married in 3 months or 3 weeks.
Oh shit,
And
you do?
July, dang, bro.
Fuck.
What's my
congratulations?
That's bad. July 21st.
Fucking congratulations,
edit that
bro.
out. Edit that out. I ain't say it like that.
It's okay.
Edit that out. Nah, but I get
congratulations, bro.
Thank you, bro. But it, like, real talk, it's like I get married soon. I got a little 1-year-old baby. I just moved into a 3-bedroom apartment, and I was on the floor when I moved out. So like all that led up to this moment where I'm like, bro, if I didn't go through that, I would not have experienced this moment.
True.
So it's like, going back to what you said, when something bad happens, I have to go back to the moment of like, yo, it could have been like this.
When was the last John I slayed?
Yes, sir.
Because when you come across that John, you're looking at him like, fuck.
Right.
I gotta take on you now.
Listen.
But the thing is, the bigger the giants are, man, the better the victory is.
Exactly.
The more you're able to learn, the more you learn about yourself, the more you learn about how to defend yourself, the more you're able to have trust and faith in yourself.
Yeah.
That's the biggest things when it comes to a lot of the bullshit, trauma, negative things that we have in our life, is we're not only understanding how to get through situations, but we're understanding how to build trust and faith within ourselves.
Yes, sir.
We speak about faith in God. We speak about faith in this and that, but we also have to speak about faith within ourselves.
Yes,
like,
sir.
I can get through this shit.
Real.
You can get through certain things because of what you've been through. We all can get through certain things because of what we've been through. But the only way we're going to be able to build up that momentum, the only way we're going to be able to build up that faith is to slay those giants, slay those things that are in front of us.
Yes, sir.
If we choose to run away from it, we're going to build up negativity. We're going to build up lack of confidence. We're going to build up self-esteem.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
low self-esteem. We're going to build up those things.
Real.
But that faith that we need in ourselves, we got to understand that everything that we've gone through, we got through it.
Yeah.
So because I got through that, I can get through this shit.
I can get through this.
Congratulations, bro. You
Bars.
getting married? You ready for that?
I don't know, bro. No, I'm just playing. Shoot, I ain't got no choice at this point. Dang, that's the bad answer too. Hey man, I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited about to get married, whatever.
You
Nah,
as
I'm
ready
just
as you could be at this moment.
That's it,
bro.
man. I'm ready to
'Cause
get
that's
it
a
over
whole
with.
different thing. I want to get married. I thoroughly want to get married.
It's gonna happen too, bro.
It is. It is.
It's gonna happen.
It
You're gonna be
is.
a wonderful husband.
I know
bro.
I am, but the thing is, it's just like it's a different type of. It's like I'm. It's different. Only reason why
Say
it's
no
different
more.
is because for me, it's like I seen a lot of negative marriages.
Me too, bro.
Seen a lot of negative marriages, and it's like, okay, I gotta be the one that's not negative. I gotta be the one that really get through it.
Real.
And it's like, okay, ready for the fight.
Yeah, bro.
I know you ready for the fight. It's gonna be hard.
Hey, man. Bro. It is hard.
Yeah.
You know, it is
It's
hard.
gonna be hard. It's gonna be tough. But if your wife don't make you accountable, your little girl
Right.
is gonna be like, nah, we gotta get through this for her.
Real talk.
So, man, congratulations. I know you already a
Sir.
dope ass father, but you about to be a dope ass husband.
Hey, man.
And this family is finna be spectacular.
Hey, bro. Let's grow old together, man.
Spectacular, man. Shit. But, man, say where people can find you, man. What's going on with you? What certain things you have planned, man.
Sure.
I read your article on Voyage, man, and everything that you got going with that. That shit
Word.
really nice.
Thank you.
Man.
Appreciate it. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere that's just regular. At Will_Inspire. That's INSPIRE. Government name, Will Fleming. Find me on Facebook if you can find me. I'm never on Facebook, but
I'm never either.
yeah, bro. But what's going on with me? I'm personally getting ready for this wedding, if I'm just being real. But at the same time, as you probably know, I'm working on this tech venture right now. Trying to break down the walls of tech for minorities and try to get us through those doors. And so I'm really, 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 really working hard on that. I'm currently working at a startup as well, so that's interesting, trying to build a startup while working at one. It's some interesting components to that.
If you mind, remind me of the name of the tech startup that you're doing.
Yes, sir. Never bored.
Never bored. Okay,
Yes,
cool.
sir.
The reason I was reading that article, man, and the one thing I found out so dope about that is because, especially when it comes to mental health,
Yes.
the one thing I always have to tell my clients is that, yo, get your ass out of the house.
Bro.
Get out of the house. Like, go do something, because when
Bruh.
you're bored, when you're just sitting, that's when all those negative thoughts is going to come.
Right.
When you're bored, you're not thinking about negative if you just moving around. You might not even be
Exactly.
doing anything positive. You might not even be doing anything that holds any substance.
Right.
But if you moving around,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have your brain don't have the time to really sit there and think about a lot of the negative shit.
That's one
Yeah.
reason why I made it. And I'll say this live on air. I would love to have you. So we're gonna do this event probably end of this year, early next year, where we're gonna have panelists come out and just kind of talk about that. How Never Bored, and of course the app, but more so the reason for the app and what
Sure.
we're ultimately trying to make happen. And I would love to have you on.
Man,
the
I'm
panel.
more than welcome to come,
Yes.
man. I'm more than happy to come, especially when it comes to that.
Yes, sir.
Because anything, I always have to tell people, mental health is all encompassing. It's everything and anything. The smallest thing that you're doing can be looked at as a mental health light.
Real.
So that app, Never Bored, literally can help individuals get out of their shit, because you got to understand, I need something to tell them, because a lot of people don't know what to do out here in LA or people or anywhere
Exactly.
in general. So
Real.
you're going to need to be able to find something to be able to get you out of the situation. So if you have something to go to that can help you, even at least spark the brain, spark the mind to go forth and do something,
Yep.
dog is going to win.
That's it.
So
man.
how the app and how Never Bored is going to affect, people's mental health and mental wellness is really, really going to be dope, because at the end of the day, it's all about having a positive spirit.
That's it. That's
Start
it,
right
man.
there. Start right there.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming on, my man.
Appreciate you for having me,
This
man.
the first time you was here. This ain't the last time. You gonna
Bro,
be on
please,
again.
man. Let's bro. I love conversation, bro. And this was perfect. So
Oh, yeah.
I would love to come back.
You definitely gonna be on again, man. As always, man. Thank you to all those individuals who are listening and tuning in. Good looking to all those individuals who ain't listening right now, but you're gonna be listening later on tonight, tomorrow, next day, next year, whenever. In an afterlife, wherever you at. Good looking to you. Shouts out to those individuals who I've said ain't never gonna hear this ever again in your life, because you feel as if you got everything intact. It's okay to say that you fucked up. But we all need certain times and places and all this other stuff to either find something and figure out how we're going to deal with our mental health at some point. So you probably ain't caught on to it yet, but you will catch on to it at some point in your life. As always, man, good looking. Shouts out to you. Shouts out to my man Will for coming through.
Yeah.
Thoroughly appreciate it, man.
Yes,
As
sir.
always, understand, ain't no wealth without your mental health, man. So please stay blessed and take care of yourself. Be great, y'all. Peace.